It's your boy back in the building. Yeah, I mean, it's been a minute, y'all. It's been a minute. Hope y'all have been enjoying other episodes or whatnot, or catching up, listening to your free time, listening on the drive or whatever. Yes, it's me. Long time no episode, I guess. It's so weird to try and have a plan for this stuff, and obviously life happens, but even when life don't happen, it's like, ooh, I'm kind of tired because of life. But I'm back for this one. Hopefully can create a little bit better schedule, pick up a little bit of motivation on the way. You know what I mean? And I think today I want to talk about the topic of how your parents truly shape you, and when you're a kid, you're not really taught how your parents shape you until you grow up and find out I'm just like my mom or just like my dad. And then also, I want to talk ever so slightly about dreams, like going after your dreams. You know what I mean? Because I feel it's definitely different. It's got to be different for everybody. You know? There's like no one set type of one size fits all. Hey, this is my dream. This is how it's going to unfold. You know what I mean? For everybody. And because it's just something, But I mean, they tie into each other. Both of these things tie into each other. So I want to see how it goes. I want to talk about that. So one reason why I wanted to talk about families, because one, I just went to celebrate one of my uncles who has been pastoring for 30, I think they said 35 years. 35 years. This man was a shepherd unto the Lord's people. You know what I'm saying? And been loving the communities that he's served, and loving the people, and leading well, and just hearing all the great words about him, and about him as a pastor, and even me thinking about it being a nephew. It's like, yes, growing up with that was great, seeing that example, like a good solid black leader, a solid Christian man, didn't fold, didn't break for anybody, didn't break for anything, truly had the faith that no matter what, he was trusting God and he was believing God, and that's how he lived. And I was like, I think on the way up there, I think on the way driving home, I was also thinking this, because I've been thinking about this for a while. Also due to another conversation that two of my friends had, man. Shout out to, Antonio and my boy Tristan, man. They were having a great conversation about their dads. And I was like, and my experience wasn't the same, so I was giving my 2 cents here and there, but it's like, I don't want to switch it up and have a whole different experience, you know what I mean? And be talking about a whole different experience. And so, after that conversation, I've been thinking about my dad and our relationship, and how he's, things that I've picked up from him, and whatnot, and what I'm realizing now as an adult, or what I've realized over time once I become an adult. It's like, man, your parents really shape you. Like nobody really sets you up to say, hey, a lot of what you're gonna be like as an adult, and a lot of your mannerisms, not all of them, not saying all of me is like my parents, but there are good portions, and there are some big things that, my mom or dad did and do, that really kind of shaped me also, my thought patterns, my social mannerisms and whatnot. And so it's interesting. It's really interesting to see, because one thing I think about, my first thought is their socialness, like how they socialize. So my dad is really big on being, he was really big on like being just approachable, including anybody and everybody and feeling welcome and like, if you have it doesn't matter how, and this was always so funny, it doesn't matter how many times you've met my dad, he's gonna make you feel like y'all been friends for like the longest. You know what I mean? Like he makes you feel like y'all best buds, and he's only met you twice. You know what I mean? Like thinking about how so one of my cousins she got married, right? She got married. She already had a kid, who was pretty grown, and so he knows her well. He knows her daughter well, and then after time, she, meets a guy. They get married. Families at the wedding. I think my dad was there at their wedding, and so in between that time, we're meeting them, and it's like I think this might have even been the boyfriend phase when he was still the boyfriend. He would like when he talks to him, he would like, "Oh, what up, man? Ha, what up, boy?" Like that. And he'd be like, "Oh," and also another thing that I thought was funny, he would always call people by their first initial. You know what I mean? And so I think mentally in his brain, because I mean, he meets so many people and not try to, he would do the thing where he makes people feel so comfortable. It's like it's too many names for him to remember. Um, and so he would just go, everybody's a first letter, everybody, unless he like grew up with you and has known you for some years. You know what I mean? But other than that, like first three, two meetings, 4 or 5 meetings, it's your first letter. Oh, what up, A? Oh, what up, A? Um, and when he would come to church, he like none of the deacons, he'd be like, Deke, hey Deke, or if he was talking to the mothers, he'd be like, hey mother, or something like that, you know. Um, and I thought that was always so funny, I thought that was always so funny because people would feel so friendly and so befriended by him. And I'm like, Joker, he don't even remember your name. That's why he said your first letter. But that's something that I picked up. I'm a huge social person. Social. I'm a huge social person, and so I'm very big on making people feel comfortable, making them feel included. Um, and even I can think of so many scenarios where it's like, yeah, I mean, I'm friends with people who are almost polar opposites of me. I was I was active. I loved playing sports, playing video games, and uh, played the drums growing up and all this stuff. And then, at school, I'm making friends and being friends with and growing up in church. You know what I'm saying? In at school, middle school, high school, whatever, elementary school. It's like, oh, I'm friends with the kid who don't really talk to people. I'm friends with the girl who gets picked on all the time. I'm friends with the popular kids. I'm friends with not all of the popular kids. A lot of the popular kids are just ugh. They're literally like the ones you see on TV. It's like it's too annoying to be around you, so I'm gonna limit myself. But we're cool. You know what I mean? Um, I'm friends with the quiet kids. I'm friends with the punk rock metal kids. I remember that phase. People was wearing like all black and starting to wear the neck bracelets, the chokers and pointy wrist bracelets. The pointy bracelets and whatnot. And it's like had a plethora, of different types of people that I could talk to, I could have conversations with, I could relate. I would try to relate on some level, or at least show an understanding of who they are on some level. Whether it's like Oh, I listen to this type of music. Oh yeah, no, I love the drumming in this type of music, or oh, I love the melody in this music, or like oh, I'm into this type of art. It's like, oh, yo, that's really dope. I love art. What do you like about that? You know, just some type of connection on any level. You know what I mean? And it's like, boom, I make that. Hey, you're gonna enjoy. We can enjoy our conversation because there's just gonna be more that comes up. You know, so I'm that type of social, but I'm also like my mother in some ways. My mother is she's indifferent, man, when it comes to socializing. Like she'll socialize with you really well if she knows you. She's not a huge socialize well if she doesn't know you like that. You know what I mean? Like she can be cordial, you know what I'm saying? She ain't not super awkward with new people and talking to somebody she doesn't know that well. But it's like you can sense that. You can sense that she's has to put forth an effort. You know what I mean? And it's not like a knock to my mommy. No, it's not a knock to her at all. It's just how that's just how she is socially. You know, people are just different socially. You know, you gotta adjust. You gotta meet them where they at. Can't be too overboard or too underboard because then it's like yeah, that just don't work out for a healthy, positive social environment. And so my mom, you know, being a little bit more uh, recluse, I think is a word I could use. Hopefully, I'm using that correctly. And I'm like that sometimes. Like, interesting enough, people would think that. I even heard my boy Antonio told me the other day. He was like, I would have thought you were more of a. I would have labeled you more as a quiet person, you know? Like he said that before I got to know you. And I'm just like, "Oh, well, that's interesting." You know? Cuz like he was like, "Yeah, now I wouldn't even think that." You know, but before he thought that. And I'm just like, "Oh, that's interesting." You know what I mean? Cuz obviously it depends on who you're around, what you're doing, you know, where you are. But it's like I can still be social, you know? And so it's it's interesting to see how it's like no I'm super social, you know, like I'm a social I'm one of those social butterflies, you know what I mean. But then I can also be you know to myself. I can also be pretty quiet when it comes to stuff like that. So yeah, I feel like I'm a good part of both my mom and my dad when it comes to being social. um let's see what else. Huh. Ooh, so music wise, I'm a mix of both of them again. Heavily both of them in the music department. But then I've also picked up my own interests and likings as far as music because my mom, you know, playing Mary during clean. She was one of those moms. She's turning the radio on, putting her Mary CD in. Everybody cleaning. You know what I mean? No TVs, no nothing. You know, don't even turn on the TV for lunch because then you're gonna start watching everything, or start watching TV and just sit there and forget that you're cleaning up. You know what I mean? The TV don't come on till like late in the evening, cooking dinner, and now we done. All right, we can sit down and watch TV since we done cooked and cleaned all day. I mean, cleaned all day. She was that type of mom, you know. Uh, the radio station was gospel radio station 103.9, man, coming through Moore County. 103.9 was the black gospel station. And so playing that every day, every morning, you know what I'm saying? Didn't go on nothing else. The only time it would go to another station is if I turned it, you know, and I'm going to like 99.1 or something like that, you know, like the rap hip hop station. And so that's the type of music that I heard every day in the car when I was with her. And then with my dad, polar opposite. You know what I mean? He was a New York Byyyeeee. He was Nas, Jay-Z. He was Tupac. He was 50 Cent, G Unit when they were out, Jada Kiss, all that. You know what I'm saying? Um, a little bit of Mobb Deep and stuff like that. And so it's like also heavy on that too, you know? And so with that, that kind of fused and has me to this place where I am now, where it's like, oh no, yeah, I love jazz. Jazz is like a black church, you know? Jazz drumming is so similar to the black church drumming, you know, with the syncopations and all the fills, but it's still within the pocket. And so I started getting into jazz, and I was getting into like a little bit of the indie, because it's like the when you think of when the pianist is playing while the pastor is preaching, it's like that type of soothing um, play style is very simpler is very similar to the indie pop play styles, to that soft alternative type music. So I'm also into that. It's like, give me a good piano, beautiful voice, love it. You know what I'm saying? Um, and a lot of other types of, I guess, I don't really think there's that many genres, but like Spotify was like, oh, you're 2022 rap, you listen to 72 genres. And I'm just like, bruh, 72 genres? I can't even think of 72 artists that I listen to. You know what I mean? And so just thinking about that, it's like, oh, bet. You know what I mean? 72 genres, that's dope. That's super dope. But yeah, that's music wise, which is dope. I like that. I like that I'm able to enjoy both. So now it's like it's not super weird or awkward if I'm hearing like crazy rap lyrics and stuff like that, because it's like, oh no, that's hard. I know it's not something that, you know, I'm gonna be promoting and being like, oh, this is the new flavor. Everybody needs to be bumping this and whatnot. But it's like, oh yeah, no, you got some good wordplay here. All the beats super dope, or something like that. And so, music wise, yes, I have them both heavily. They have both heavily influenced my taste as far as music. Um, let's see, what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Talked about. Oh, yeah. And so also, socially, or no, not socially, but serving. So my mom is a big servant, right? Like she's the type to, when church is over and we're eating in the back and it's a bunch of people and we only got a few people that agreed to serve the food. She was the type, she's the type to like serve everybody, wait for people to come and get seconds, and then she'll eat when it's like done cleaning up. She'll get one plate when everybody else gets like 3 and 4, and then come for to go plates. Like she was that type of servant, you know. And my dad was always willing. He just worked so much. Even though my dad worked so much, he was always down to help people move and help people like do little stuff around the house. You know, he was actually one of those in home, like in home hospice type people. Like he would feed this guy and he would wash him and chill with him at his house because he was wheelchair bound. And so like that type of heart to love and care for somebody, it's like I've picked up that from them. It's like I always want to do what I can, no matter what it is. I want to do it and serve in some type of capacity for people. But it also shows up in different ways. Like I'm not just the type to do something for somebody just to, like, I don't know, like little stuff like if we're eating somewhere and I'm throwing away some trash, like I'm not gonna first instantly think to throw away somebody's trash that's like right beside me. You know, like it might not just click in my head right away. You know, after some time, after I walk halfway, I might be like, oh yeah, does somebody else have trash? Can I take their trash? I might do something like that. But I'm more of like oh shoot, you're moving to a whole nother house. Yo, let me help you. Like, don't worry about it. I got you. Ain't nobody helping. I'm coming. We going, you know, move as much as we can, as fast as we can. You know, or it's like, oh, you setting up for this? Yo, I'm coming. Let me help you. You know what I mean? Oh, you need help with this? Say less. I'm there. You know what I mean? Like that type of stuff makes me. It fuels me. I'm fueled by that, being able to help people in that way. And then, yeah, I've gotten that from both of my. Yeah, they both were. I think that also might have was that might have. I think that was probably something that they were both attracted to each other about, like just the heart for others, man. You know how my mom and dad care for other people, which is super dope, super dope. You know, um, yeah, and just giving in different ways, however they could, how much ever they could. You know, just being able to lend themselves to help others. That was definitely something that I picked up from both. You know, they really did that really well and set a really great example. So like now it's not even a problem for me to want to help somebody and not feel burdened if somebody asks me for help. It's like, no, I want to. You know? Like, thank you for the opportunity. You feel me? So that's another thing that I picked up from both of them. Um, and then the dreaming part. So something that I realized is that dreams, like chasing the American dream, having a goal that you want to accomplish, or whatever type of dream that you have set in mind from a kid, or that you kind of were shaped and molded into at a teenage age, or even as a young adult, you kind of came into this dream of having something or having your own this or creating something, or whatever type of dream you wanted to pursue. I've noticed that having a dream isn't the problem, you know? Like wanting to pursue something great isn't the problem. It's the pursuit. It's the pursuit of that dream. It's the plan. Yeah, like and that's all inclusive. Obviously, pursuit is an umbrella because there's a lot of things that you have to do within the pursuit. You have to actually go and get active in pursuit. You know, in the actual active pursuit, you have to plan. Um, you have to have the heart to actually do it. You know what I'm saying? If you empty trying to chase something, it's probably not going to work out. You know what I mean? Or you could just force yourself and be miserable and chasing something that you're not really interested in. You know, which is just as bad as pursuing something that you don't even really want. You know, and so I've noticed that over time, my pops was a very content person as far as bills paid, gas in the car, families got food, got clothes, house is good, he's good. You know what I mean? Do a little trip here and there, but other than that, like he's good. Like there was I've never heard my dad talk about like any of his dreams, like as a youngin that he had or whatever, or even as an adult that he kind of came into or grew into. Like I never heard of any dreams, you know. And then with my mom, it's like she had this faith where it's like she knows that she can be wealthy and that she can come into money, and God can help provide that, and not in a way to just be wealthy, but she was always wanting to give. Like even when we didn't really have money like that, and you know a lot of these different expenses were coming up, whether it was a car, whether it was having to pay all these other bills, that would just pile up and pile up. And, they're doing their best to take care of them. And I think in our situation, we were just blessed to never have to, be in a predicament where it's like, all right, we're not even going to have we're not going to have a place to live for a little bit. We got like a week, and then we can get another like apartment or something like that. But, we were in a trailer, and we were always able to have that trailer and be in that trailer, and have and have the lights on and have water and all this stuff. You know, and maybe there was a day or two where it was like, we missed a payment. We don't get paid until Friday. So, all right, lights going to be off from Wednesday to Friday. So go stay with your grandma. And then you come on Friday night. And so it was, you know, a few occasions like that. You know, nothing, not a bunch, you know. A few times where it's like, all right, air conditioning don't work. We ain't staying here like that. You know, maybe dad might stay there and mom might stay there a couple nights. And because I was in school, I would typically just go to my grandma's, you know, because I could ride the bus from their house. But in all of that, I feel like within our circumstances and with the history of, you know, I would assume, just thinking of my dad's family history, that there weren't a lot of dreamers on his side. You know, there's not a lot of family members that I met that were like family, you know, like uncle, first cousin type, auntie, that were pursuing anything. You know, it's just regular 9 to 5, good people, you know, take care of what they need to take care of and enjoying what they got. You know what I mean? And so I feel like I picked up that side, but I also picked up my mom's side of, no, like I can have big faith and have these dreams and have these desires and have these ideas that could really put me in a position where it's like I'm gonna have more than what I grew up in. You know, I'm growing up in. Like I had those dreams, I had those aspirations. You know, with like a clothing line, or not even a clothing line, a clothing brand, and then what else? I had these dreams of like touring, like a gospel tour that was honestly, I know it's gonna sound crazy, but honestly, it's basically like Maverick City, like a whole different style of worship, but still like a true worship. It's not super heavy on the lyrics, but it's heavy with the worship and the sentiment behind the words, you know. And then obviously a very heavy lyrical worship song is not, it's not bad about it. You know, I just didn't grow up in it, so like the dream was, oh yeah, have these great songs like Ty Trebbit and these great musicians and these great singers and I played the drums, so I'm like, oh man, I could travel the world, praise and worship Jesus and make money and just meet people and tell them about Jesus, you know, and just worship. And I'm like, oh my goodness, that would be so dope. And I'm sure that's the thing. And I would have these visions of like being out in these open places in different countries and being on stage and seeing all these people worship God and just, you know, and it's in the middle of, not in the middle of a set, but it's like the end of a set and I'm just sitting there and I'm in awe of like, man, look at this. Like, look at where God's brought me, like within the vision. And so I've had that. But because I have a heavy dose of not hearing about people pursuing their dreams and making things happen and chasing after wealth and wealth for their family and things like that, it's like it was easy for me not to have a plan, not to really think too much into those things, but to say, all right, what can I do to be comfortable, have what I want, and make sure my family's good. You know, I've had that mindset, a heavy mindset of that. But again, I also had a heavy mindset of dreaming. So it's like a lot of what I've seen and been around with my parents, like I picked that junk up too. And it's just so crazy, you know, and I got my own little stuff that I mixed and matched along the way. You feel me? You know? Because we all have our own individuality that we put into these types of things that we get from family members and media and experiences. You know what I'm saying? So that's no different than any normal person. But yeah, I picked up those things. Those are ones that are super apparent. How I socialize with people, how I dream and whatnot, and how I feel and act towards those dreams. Okay, so it's not even just the capability or motivation or the access to even have those dreams comes true. Yeah, I'm all over the place, and I keep repeating myself because it's like when y'all hear it, y'all gonna be like, "What he just say?" So I'm just saying it for you because this is literally how I be talking to myself sometimes, or even when I'm with my kids. What? Oh shoot, I don't have kids, but if you haven't caught it by now, I work in Guilford County Schools, work as a teacher, man. So when I've been talking about customers and stuff like that or clients, I've been talking about students, man. Them students, boy, I love them. I ain't gonna lie, I love them, but I'm black, so I be wanting to, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'd be close to losing my job because they don't want to. They want to act like I ain't black and I ain't grow up with a black mama and a black daddy that beat that black booty. You know what I'm saying? They didn't take too kind to. Mom definitely didn't take no liking to back talk. Boy, I used to get smacked all in my mouth. The worst moments was getting smacked at the family function. You know, everybody at grandma's house. Grandma's house already small. It's time to eat. I'm saying something smart and my mom hear it. I'm right beside her. I get smacked. Everybody see it, and it's like they got a whole day laugh. Oh my gosh, I used to hate those moments because then the cousins would sneak to the back room and laugh really loud, and I could hear it. And it's like, man, as soon as I get my food and go back there, they just gonna bust out laughing at me, you know. And they did. But that's what it was, you know. That's what it was, and that's how I be feeling at school. I'm like, man, y'all lucky we ain't no kin. You feel me? Y'all lucky we ain't no kin, because I would have been touched that skin, boy. Keep playing with me and talking like you crazy. You talking to me like you crazy. When I say talking to me like you crazy, I mean actually crazy. Like these kids be yelling no. They be off the most simplest thing. Hey, all right, it's time to do your work. Go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, stop playing around and jumping around the classroom. Let's head back to our seat. And this ain't to say like classroom management is trash. You know what I mean? This is like an obscure day when somebody just want to act crazy and forget they not in school no more, you know, because it's a Title I school, so a lot of these kids come in with, you know, a lot of different stuff outside the home, and that's not to say outside the school, and that's not to say that they still not responsible for their actions. No, they definitely are. They're old enough to take a second, really deliberate with themselves of what the consequences are going to be and how their actions affect the school day in the classroom, you know, and affect their performance within the classroom setting. You know what I mean? And so they old enough to think that. You know what I'm saying? It's third grade. We not at that first grade kindergarten age no more where, you know, they gotta be they legit get passes because they little. You know what I'm saying? They're growing. They're learning these things for the first time. A lot of these things with being in school. It's like, nah, bruh. This your fourth year most likely if you go to pre-K. This your fourth year in school. No. Pre-K, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, so fifth. This would be their fifth year. You already done 4 years of school. This is year 5 for you. All right, this ain't nothing new. You feel me? Our school goes pre-K to fifth, pre-K fifth. So that essentially be their fifth year. So they know better, man. They know better. But anywho, back to the dreams. But yeah, that's what I have dreams now. I started this podcast as like a personal diary, and it's like I still have moments. I'm gonna be real with y'all, man. It's also raining, so I hope that doesn't affect the sound. Maybe if it's soothing for you, I hope it's soothing. But also my windshield wipers are going. But yeah, I'm just keeping it raw and gritty, man. I had to get out the house. Had to get out the house, man, and just come do something. And so, yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about that. So, yeah, man, that's just where I've been at. Been dreaming, thinking of these dreams that I'm having, aspirations, and slowly putting myself in a position to where it's like, all right, you You gotta have a plan, or you just gonna be out. You know what I'm saying? You gotta actually work towards this. You gotta pursue this actively, or stuff's about to get real sad for you. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, man, pray for me. If you don't believe in the Lord, that's okay. You can still throw a prayer up for your boy, man. Because I've seen people pray before that don't believe in God, and their prayers answered. Um, and so I believe that to be true even in this moment. If you got love for me, if you can really feel that I'm a true, genuine person, it's not much to me, guys. I'm not some complex soul. I just be protecting myself with showing what parts of me that I want people and trust people with. So here I share out the realness. You know what I'm saying? I share the real on this because it's easy. Nobody's around. I don't have to sit here. I'm not gonna be sitting anywhere and listening to somebody listen to my podcast. Like, people not, you know what I'm saying, hitting me up, calling me about, oh my goodness, you just said this in your podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not happening. So this is still legit, like just a personal like diary or whatever. So a lot of this was about me. I hope this was enjoyable. I hope that you yourself can just think through your own dreams. What are your dreams? It's okay to dream. It's okay for your dreams not to be a title or a position, but a place in life, a certain amount of money. It's nothing wrong with making a certain amount of money and wanting to make a certain amount of money. Without money, what you gonna do? You gonna live a good life without money? Nah, man. It's a good thing. And what's wild, I've realized even more now than before that money's a good thing biblically, and that it's okay to have money biblically. You know what I mean? This church that I'm joining, Evangel Faith Fellowship. I think that's the full name. Evangel Faith Fellowship in Greensboro. The membership matters class. It's a class to become a member. They do like 4 sessions. This was session 3, I think, last week. And he talked about money. And they were like, churches don't talk about money and don't give a biblical view of money. And I'm like, oh snap, we about to talk about money. He about to try and get us. I knew it was probably something. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, all right. Up until now, we've been good. Everything's been straight. It's been by the book. It's been, we haven't neglected the spirit. We haven't neglected true worship and free worship and in understanding that worship is pivotal within a worship service, along with good context and teaching of the Bible. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I knew it was something. And so when he started talking about the money, he was going through Bible verses about money. I'm like, all these verses that ain't never really been broken down for me like this. And I've been in the Christian game for a long time, like actually trying to walk the faith and be obedient to the word. 14. So it's been, oh my goodness, it's been 14 years. It's been 14 years in this thing. And I'm just now learning about like the Bible verses that show that it's good to have money. It's an okay to, work to have money, because with money, you are now in a place to not only be a blessing in ways that's not financial, but now you can be a bigger blessing than before financially. Like I said with my mom, like she would give, bro. Like when I tell you she would give and wouldn't really have nothing, it's like money that she planned to use for like to get gas for the next few days. She's like, we can use coins from the house. I got a couple bills in the purse. I'm going to give this $40 to these people, or put the $40 in the offering. And it's just like, that's the type of person she was. She wouldn't hesitate to make a seed offering when she didn't have a lot. She wouldn't hesitate to bless somebody that she felt led to bless with money when she was in areas or at a place where it's like, nah, it's some people out here that are in poverty, that are, are less fortunate. And she would just give. And it's like, I want to be in a situation where I can do that. I do a little bit of that now with you know, buying food for homeless people when I'm out riding around, and I take out a little bit of money, I go do that. I'll try and support people with stuff they make and stuff they create, and it's like, oh, I got this new product, I'm selling this, and it's like, oh, let me cop some, whether I like it or not, and most of the stuff that friends have made and are raising money for or using as a way of income, it's like, no, I can support it for sure. Like, I like it, like I want to, and I'm going to regardless, and it's just dope to be in that type of situation. I mean, it would be dope to be in that situation where I can just bless people and not be like, ooh, I can't give this much. I know how much you need, and I want to give as much as I can towards it and help you reach that as quick as I can, or as much as I can, but I can't because I got these bills coming up. You know what I mean? I want to be in that situation. I want to have a better setup for how to bless homeless people how to bless people who are experiencing homelessness, and how to better give access and more, I guess, I don't know, practical resources that aren't really working in certain communities. Because it's like, money can help that. Money can help that type of stuff. There can be different type of housing projects that can support, and that's practical, and that's manageable for homeless people. I know it is. And it just, you know what I'm saying? Some of that stuff needs money, And the pastor was saying that, he was saying there's some things that money can really change. Money can really change a lot of things. Not that it's the end all be all. Not that God can't work outside of money. No, definitely wasn't saying that. And he made clear that, but, So the dreams and aspirations that I have now for myself are things and desires that I've had since a youngin', man. Watching America's Next Top Model, watching all these different types of movies, and growing up, yeah, loving all types of different movies with my dad. Like, he literally was a man that loved he loved Belly with Nas and DMX. He loved Twilight. He loved Fighting Temptations with Beyonce and Cuban Jr. He loved what were some of his other ones he loved? He loved TV shows like The Sopranos. He loved TV shows like Love and Marriage. He loved TV shows like Love and Marriage. So it's like just a plethora. And my mom, like I said, America's Next Top Model, watching HGTV shows, and Flip This House. What was it? What was the one where they would do the houses? They would redo a whole house that's like really messed up for a family that couldn't really afford to do any changes or move anywhere. I feel like it was Flip This House or something like that. And they would have the family outside, and there's a big bus in front of the house, and they're like, move that bus, and they move the bus, and the house is super nice, and you know what I'm saying, it's just better fit for the family. Whatever show that was, it's like, those are the types of things that I want to do for people, but then I also have this creative aspect because of these shows and these things that I just fell in love with, So hey, man, that's today. If you want to take some time to relax to this nice little loop I got at the end, and think about your dreams. What are some of your aspirations? I want to know. I want to know what your dreams and aspirations are. What do you want to do? What do you want to do when you grow up? I'm 20 plus. I'm 25 plus, and I'm still like, man, what do I want to do when I grow up? Just slightly. I know people that are 25 and up, and they're just like, man, what do I want to do when I grow up? You know what I mean? Which is okay. Figure it out. Don't waste your time. I was talking with my boys the other day. It's like, we're young. 20s, 20 to 30, that's young. That's nothing compared to people who've been in the game for 60 years still working and healthy, 70 years still working, healthy. You know what I'm saying? Not slowed down, not very restricted in anything. 50 years and working and healthy. You know what I'm saying? So that's nothing. 20 to 30s is nothing. That's your time to plan. Get a plan. What do you want to do? And by the time you're at 30, you should already, if not, have met your dream, or you should already be in motion to even try and get to your dream at least once. You know what I'm saying? So that's a goal, man. I love y'all, man. Y'all so kind. Just listen to me talk and ramble. But yeah, man, think about your family, how they shaped you, how you love them, how they love you, or how they wanted to love you but just didn't have examples, how they truly tried to love you, but it just didn't come out, and you didn't take it the way they meant it to, and they weren't able to present it the way that they really wanted to, or whatever situation is. Families are sticky, love is real, God is real.